Welcome, everyone, to Dave Cooper Live, where we showcase the people, the products, and the processes building it better. So, where can you find an introductory and pro tracks on how to optimize your home building business with Offsite Construction? Well, guess what? You're in luck. Registration opens today for the Building Systems Housing Summit. It's the opportunity to meet, learn, and interact with prominent and influential members of the home building industry. So please welcome Devin Perry, Executive Director, Business Development, Business Improvement, I should say, programs at the National Association of Home Builders. He is the man, he is the guru, and he is the reason the Building Systems Council exists today at the level it is. So super pumped to have him on. But first, before his head swells too much, we got to thank all of our sponsors for allowing us to bring you all of these innovative conversations. Forward Solutions Group is successfully driving companies to succeed where others have failed. Are you looking to start a factory, optimize your existing factory, streamline your production, or take your team to the next level? Whatever your needs are, Forward has a solution for you. Reach out to Ben at forwardsolutionsgroup.com. Howick Ltd. has a long history of innovation in cold form steel manufacturing and producing innovative precision roll forming technology for customers throughout the United States and the world. Check out their machine buyer's guide for offsite modular construction or fast build construction with light steel for framing. Go to their website, howickltd.com. All right. Again, thank you to our sponsors. Please go and say thank you to them, because without our sponsors, we cannot continue to bring these forward conversations to all of you out there so we can build it better. So without further ado, let's bring on the myth, the man, and the legend, Devin Perry. Hey, Devin, how you doing?
Doing well, Dave. Thank you for the warm introduction.
Yeah, I was thinking about the myth, the man, and the legend. I was like, man, he probably should have a cowboy hat on or something when he walks into this. Devin, how you? I just like in my opening monologue, I really meant it when I said, like, with the Building Systems Council and where it started and where it's come from. You are so respected by all the members in there, and to include myself, being a longtime member. But I think people really need to know, who you are, what you're doing now, because you're still doing the Building Systems Council and where it's headed, because it's growing, and that's super exciting.
No, absolutely, Dave. So just a little bit about me. I've been with the National Association of Home Builders since December of 2015. And my first entry into the residential construction industry was with the Building Systems Council. So for those of you that are unaware, the Building Systems Council is a special interest group inside of the National Association of Home Builders for our members that either build, manufacture, or supply the modular, panelized concrete or logging timber frame home industries. NAHB has had the Building Systems Council. It's been under a couple different names, but for over 50 years. So that's how long NAHB has been involved in the offsite construction space. I graduated from the program manager of the Building Systems Councils to the director in 2018. And from there was further promoted to now my current title, Executive Director of Business Improvement Programs at NAHB. So I currently still oversee the Building Systems Councils, like you said, and have a couple other areas of oversight with the association as well.
So you're not busy at all. Perfect. Thanks for taking time out of your day to join us. I love this. All right. So today's a big day, Devin. Today, yes, just not only for the NAHB and all the members, but for the Building Systems Council. It is the launch of the registration, and it's coming up in Washington, D.C. What summit is this? How many summits are we into it now?
Oh, my goodness. We've been conducting the Building Systems Housing Summit. And like I said, the Building Systems Council itself has been around for over 50 years. But the Building Systems Housing Summit, NAHB's annual Offsite Construction Conference, has been going on for a couple decades now. So really looking forward to gathering everybody on site this year, October 15th to the 17th. In Washington, D.C. We're going to be at NAHB headquarters, the National Housing Center. So it's going to be fantastic to have everybody on our home turf and showing off what we can do at NAHB.
Yeah, so I'm going to put it up on the screen, and we're not going to wait for all that. We got to show people this is where you register. So you definitely want to go to the NAHB's website, or if you just Google search Building Systems Housing Summit, it'll come up, and you'll be able to find it there as well. So, all right. So, Devin, let's get into a little bit about what happens at the summit and what people that haven't attended before should be looking for, because they're going to attend this year, right? Everybody out there. If you don't attend, you're wrong.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I like to think of the Building Systems Housing Summit as a one-stop solution for everything offsite construction. So the conference goes over those 3 days, and we'll have dozens of education and networking opportunities focused on those subject areas I mentioned earlier, modular, panelized, concrete, and log and timber frame construction. I'd say what's really unique about this event is not only do we have an education track for systems built pros, we call that our core audience, the people who have been with us year over year that already operate in the offsite construction space. So we have content just for those folks. And then we have a separate education track for mainly builders and developers, but also goods and service providers that want to learn more about the offsite construction industry. And the conversations when those two groups get together on site are just powerful, and the networking. So again, whether you've been in systems built construction for decades or you just want to learn more, the Building Systems Housing Summit is for you.
All right. So, Devin, I think people have to understand Margaret Whelan and Curry Cornelius they're doing a presentation on the trends and offsite solutions from capitals to components. So if people have never seen Margaret Whelan speak or even know who Margaret Whelan is, because she is at the very top when it comes to, raising capital and putting businesses in business, I should say. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, no, Margaret's fantastic. We've had her speak before, and really was reminded of the power of her audience earlier this year at the International Builder Show. So we had Margaret kick off our content in the Building Systems Council's lounge at IBS, and that's a special interest area at the Builder Show for offsite construction. So Margaret's presentation was at 8 a.m. It went up against opening ceremonies. That's Mike Rowe. So despite, again, being very early in the morning and going against opening ceremonies, our room was packed. It was wall to wall. It was our most well-attended session, the entire Builder Show. So, seeing, again, the power of her audience and being reminded of just what a great presenter she is, I knew at that moment we had to get Margaret back at Summit and really wanted to highlight her with that keynote presentation. So really looking forward to having Margaret involved and the Will Advisory team this fall.
Yeah, for sure. And I put her website up here, and there's some great things about Margaret, right? It's a woman-owned boutique investment bank serving home builders and construction companies. And Devin, as you all, I always say the more women we have, the further, the faster we will go, and we will get there in this industry. So big shout out to Margaret, one of my favorite people, and I'm super excited to have her at the event. So let's get back to what we're talking about. Let's get back to talking about some of the other folks that are going to be presenting there, because this is big news.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So you'll see in some of the marketing content we released today, we highlighted Margaret, of course, as our keynote. Sam Rashkin was pictured as well. I'm sure most everybody listening to this broadcast right now is familiar with Sam and what he does on the high performance side and the building envelope. Sam's working with the Structural Insulated Panel Association. They've developed a really interesting calculator that can take the stick-built product and a home built using structural insulated panels and lay out the cost for a builder who's considering which construction method to use. So Sam's going to detail that calculator, talk about the advantage of building a high-performance home, starting with the envelope, but really looking forward to having Sam on site this year.
Yeah, and then following up even off after Sam, you got Ryan Kolker from the ICC, which has been playing a major role in helping us adopt two of the new codes this past year, and also continuing to work to make building systems a part of the code going forward. So that's going to be a great conversation as well, and I know a hot topic to begin with.
Yeah, David, I want to dovetail on that real quick. For those of you that aren't involved with the governance of the National Association of Home Builders, we had a spring leadership meeting just a couple of weeks ago here in Washington, D.C., where we had hundreds of NAHB members in attendance. There was a resolution passed, and this is association-wide, that was in support of the ICC Offsite Construction standard. So NAHB pledged its support for those standards. You're going to see more information come out about that soon. But now, as part of that, we're really looking forward to having Ryan on site to talk about not only the two existing standards, but what's coming down the pike from the ICC in regards to offsite construction, because it's a huge focus for them.
Yeah, it is a huge focus. And we were just in Washington, D.C. for the Housing Innovation event on the Mall, which was great, and got to interview Ryan and some other folks while we were down there. So stay tuned for that. You're going to learn a little bit more about what they have going on and what's happening and how you can get involved, because they want people involved. They need people to help them wade through all the mucky waters of what it is to do building systems and how it works its way into the future code. So love it, love it, love it. All right, so going back, I mean, we even have, looks like Jesse Lose and team's going to be out there developing the perfect offsite team. You got Dennis Staggerwalt and company out there driving R&D for operational agility and business resilience.
Yeah.
I mean, does it end?
Dave, to that point, we've already talked about the Structural Insulated Panel Association. You just mentioned Jess Loesch and the Structural Building Components Association, and Dennis and the Housing Innovation Alliance. So one thing we've really focused on at the Building Systems Councils is developing strong relationships with our like-minded associations. And with those relationships, we're able to bring really powerful, significant content to our events, such as the Building Systems Housing Summits. We're looking forward to incorporating those like-minded associations. Ken Semler is given a presentation as well, and I believe Ken is the vice chair or member vice president of the Modular Home Builders Association this year, and he'll be ascending to that lead role next year. So again, we really like creating those relationships and bringing the content of our like-minded associations to light, and we're going to use Summit as a platform to do so. Although it's not on the schedule now, many of you are familiar with the National Ready Mix Concrete Association, working with them for a presentation on insulated concrete forms. So again, it's all construction types, all materials. The Summit is a one-stop shop for everything offsite construction.
So, one thing that I love the most about what you just said is we want to work with all the like-minded associations, right? The NAHB is the biggest, home building association in the United States, if not in the world. I don't even know, but it's big. It's the big player here. You're on Washington, D.C. You're fighting for our rights all the time on Capitol Hill. You're working with the ICC, who's also out of Washington. Also, some of the third-party agencies as well are out of the Virginia and Washington area. But I think the biggest thing out of all of this, Devin, and I think this is what separates you from all the other associations, is you are inclusive. You're saying, hey, we have the bigger picture. We understand you have all your individual needs that they meet within their associations, but we need to collectively come together and have one solidified voice when it comes to Capitol Hill and Washington, D.C.
Yeah, Dave, you bring up a good point. And what makes the National Association of Home Builders unique in having that affiliation and being under NAHB, and when I say that, I'm talking about the Building Systems Councils, is having that core audience of builders. Our like-minded associations represent great products. They do a tremendous job working with the manufacturers of those products, but we're kind of the flip side of broadcasting that information to the builders, the end user. So that's our place and our involvement in the offsite construction industry. And I am continually blown away by the content and the tools that are like-minded associations have developed. I mean, what Tom Hardiman's done with the Modular Home Builders Association is tremendous over the past couple of years. And we talked about what SIPA's put together with their calculator. The Structural Building Components Association recently went through a reorganization, and they're really reinvigorating and retargeting the builder audience with the information they're producing. So, we were kind of at the tip of the spear getting that information out. But again, none of this would be possible without those tremendous relationships.
Well, and that's what it's really all about, is the relationships. All right. Last year's attendance, Devin, was up from the year prior. It's growing and growing and growing. What are you guys predicting you're going to see this year?
Yeah, well, we're predicting hundreds of attendees at the National Housing Center. And what was really unique about last year's attendance, and for those of you that didn't attend last year, is when we started those dual education tracks where we opened up content to people that wanted to learn more about offsite construction. So by doing so, we found that about 30 to 40% of our attendees were first-time summit attendees last year. Yep. So the nice thing is that we've provided those folks great introductory content, and they can come back again and now participate in the Systems Built Pros track. And again, we'll do that this year with that great introductory content. We've developed some new sessions that are really targeted at developers. We understand that's an audience that has tremendous interest in what's going on in offsite construction, how they can save on labor, speed up timelines. So again, we've got something for everybody.
Well, and that is the whole idea. And I remember very precisely when I said, and I asked how many new members we had, or maybe it was even you that set it up on stage. There was a ton of new people there. Yeah. That's how you know things are growing. There's always, I'm there, the tried and true, the Ken Semlers and Lord Dwyers and all the great people that have been doing this. Brian Seeloff, right? Past chair. But the fact that there were so many new people in the audience, not only from manufacturing and developing and as builders, but also higher education.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And if you are an established Systems Built Pro that's considering attending Summit, think about all those new folks who are going to be looking for solutions for their business, and all the networking opportunities at Summit. So again, like I said earlier, when you bring those two groups together, just the conversations and the networking is tremendous. So don't miss out this fall.
Yeah, definitely don't miss out. So let's put this up. If you are interested in coming, it is going to be in Washington, D.C. We have it up here October 15th through the 17th, at the National Housing Center in Washington, D.C. And the place to stay, the Madison Hotel.
Yeah, and it can't get any more convenient. In fact, if you scroll down that picture just a little bit, that's a shot of the front of the Madison Hotel. To my left, as I'm looking at the screen, is the National Housing Center. Yeah. So all you have to do is walk across the street to the conference. And I think something else that makes the Building Systems Housing Summit unique is your prices relatively all-inclusive. Once you're on site at Summit, you can put your wallet in your pocket the rest of those 3 days, because we're providing an open welcome reception that Sunday the 15th. On that Monday the 16th, you're going to receive breakfast, lunch, and an offsite happy hour we call Summit Social. Again, all baked in to your registration cost. And on the 17th, the final day, again, complimentary breakfast, complimentary lunch. So that's very unique in the current conference landscape. So again, you can put your wallet away once you're on site with us in Washington later this year.
Yeah, super excited about this, and we're super excited to get the word out there. So if you are watching this, we would really love it if you hit that like and share button. Make sure you share this out. Tell people about this summit. I will be the MC this year. Devin has graciously appointed me to be the master of ceremony. So if you're not tired of hearing me online all the time, you come hear me in person. We'll be up there talking. And the whole idea of this is so we can all collaborate and connect. And the best place to do that is in person with any of the folks that you see out there. You get Margaret Whelan in a room. This is your opportunity to talk to Margaret Whelan.
Yep.
And if you don't know, or like I said, you need to look Margaret up. If you don't know Ken Semler, you see him online, big presence, opportunities to talk to all of these folks. And I think that's the most important thing is magic happens when we all get together in a room. And know what else happens, Devin, when we all get in a room?
What's that?
People start doing business together.
Yes. Yes.
It's like amazing.
Yeah, and Dave, I'm glad you mentioned that because we do have sponsorship opportunities as well for our goods and service providers that are part of the offsite construction community, or just like some of the builders or developers we've talked about want to learn more about offsite construction and how to approach systems built housing. In fact, we have a presentation just about that. John Harding, who's with CertainTeed. As many of you know, CertainTeed just launched a wall panel product, and John's going to do a presentation walking them through that process from concept to reality. They did a couple test homes with Ted Benson's Unity homes. So that's another tremendous presentation, not only for our builders and developers coming to the conference, but our goods and service providers as well. So again, we really do have something for everybody.
All right. So this is a good point. John Harding has been a big supporter with Saint-Gobain, CertainTeed of the Building Systems Council for a long time. And I want everybody to just think about this for a minute. Saint-Gobain is a huge global company, and they have sunk their teeth in the research and development, R&D, of their own wall panels. So they are now in process of producing their own wall panels. So when you see the bigger players that spend all the R&D, spend all the money researching where the market's going, this should be writing on the wall when you see something like this happen. Grinding the wheels to wall panels, a company's journey to offsite construction. If you want to learn something from a big one of the big players out there, this is the event to be at for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And a little background on that title, grinding wheels to wall panels. Back in, I believe it was 1895, CertainTeed started producing grinding wheels. So it's a company that, to your point, has certainly grown. It's part of the Saint-Gobain family now, and you talk about all the different building products, but go on that 100-year journey. Well, more than 100 years now offering wall panels will be very interesting to hear about with John.
Yeah, definitely it's going to be interesting to hear about with John. Super excited and looking forward to that one as well. So obviously there's a lot going on, and Devin, I'm gonna tout just a little bit. Jennifer and I also will be doing a presentation for all of you out there. We're going to be talking about the mega trends driving innovation and the adoption of industrialized construction. It will be a fast-paced overview of how convergence, digitization, and productization are driving innovation in the built environment. It's going to be fast, Devin. And I think a lot of people are probably going to have to sit down when they see what's really happening on a global scale and what's going on. And stay tuned. I'm heading to Europe here in another week and a half. So we'll be showcasing some of this innovation happening in the offsite industrialized construction world. Super excited about it.
Yeah, you and Jen did a tremendous job with that presentation last year. And it was one of our education tracks. So we're switching things up a little bit in 2023. That's going to be one of our joint sessions occurring right during kind of the tail end of lunch on Tuesday. So looking forward to giving you that kind of global audience of all of our attendees to talk about what's going on in Europe, overseas, and here stateside, and providing that overview of the offsite construction industry.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun. We just did a presentation, it'll be a little similar to what we did at Autodesk, just opened up an event up there. And even the folks at Autodesk didn't know about any of the stuff I was talking about. And that's hard to almost for me even to believe. So super cool things happening. And you guys are going to be some of the first ones at the BSC to see this in a large scale on what's happening out there. So that's going to be fun.
Yeah. And Dave, if you don't mind, I want to interject. There's a lot of exclusive data available at the Building Systems Housing Summit. So not only Dave's presentation, But following that, again, another joint session for the conference, NAHB's economics team is going to give their annual offsite construction report. So we have data specific to the offsite construction industry that will be presented, and we'll kind of camp that with what's going on in the entire residential construction world. Another really interesting presentation in our Systems Built Pros education track will come from Ed Hudson in the Home Innovation Research Labs. As we speak, Ed is surveying hundreds of builders across the country on their thoughts regarding different offsite construction methods. So, you know, we've talked about modular, panelized,
right,
insulated concrete form, SIP, so on and so forth. And he's going to present that data at the conference. And it offers not only a really interesting snapshot of builder perception now about these different construction techniques, but also what they're planning in the future, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So it's an opportunity to get that insight, you know, apply it to your business. And again, you can only see that at the Building Systems Housing Summit.
Yeah, and you know what, you mentioned that, and it reminded me that I have to share this, right? Mm-hmm. Having one of the economists from the NAHB there that has spoken at a BSC event in the past. If you have not heard Danushka speak before, you need to come listen to what Danushka has to say. She is going to talk about what's happening in the economy and what the forecast is looking like. And I think this is going to be super important to listen to, because what we're starting to see happen in Europe, is that going to happen here? We got to look at all this. This is the place to come and find out and learn what you need to do to make the right decisions for your business moving forward from one of the experts, and have an opportunity to speak personally one-on-one with them as well.
Yeah, no, Danushka does a tremendous job. Not only do we have the presentation, that there's open Q&A afterwards. Right. And everybody who attends Summit will get a copy of that slide deck and the annual NAHB Offsite Construction Report. So again, that's only happening at Summit. So we hope to see you this fall.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, John Magnan, hope you're going to be at this event this year if you can make it across. He's been busy booing modular housing. Joel Hutchins, too. What's up, Mr. Joel Hutchins? Good afternoon, my friend. And so many more out there. All right, Devin, what are we missing here? Awards. Yeah. There's like a lot of awards.
Yeah. No, Dave, you bring up a great point. So NAHB,
sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So NAHB's Offsite Construction Awards, we're going to launch those July 10th. So keep a lookout. But we are going to honor this year's award winners in person at the Building Systems Housing Summit. In terms of our award categories, we have the BSC Jerry Rouleau Awards for Excellence in Home Design, and we have home design categories for the different construction methods we've talked about today. We also have the BSC Jerry Rouleau Awards for Excellence in Marketing, where whether you are a supplier, builder, or manufacturer in the offsite space, you can submit your marketing projects, whether they be digital or print, and be honored that way. Something that we're really looking forward to this year, we realized that we needed to create an opportunity for our associate companies, our goods and service providers, to participate in the Offsite Construction Awards. So we've opened up a new category for innovative products, geared towards the offsite construction market, whether you're offering a service or a product that addresses something in the systems built world, you can apply for that awards program as well. So again, you get tremendous recognition on site at the Building Systems Housing Summit. You'll be highlighted year round on the awards page on NAHB.org. And there's some opportunities to be highlighted at the International Builders Show as well. So looking forward to getting more information out about this year's awards program July 10th. So keep a lookout.
Yeah, July 10th is going to be a fun conversation. Just for me, because I got to do the awards last year and bring everybody up on stage and shake their hand, listen to them talk a little bit. And it's got to be one of the more exciting things as an MC to be able to do, because we get to celebrate people that are out there doing it every day versus us just talking about it.
Yeah, and we also honor our Lifetime Achievement Award winner. It's the S.A. Walters Award for Lifetime Achievement in Systems-Built Housing. That goes to one individual each year. Ken Semler was our winner in 2022. And if you look at the list of past winners, it's a who's who of the offsite construction industry. In addition to that, we have our specialty awards where we honor a builder, manufacturer, and a supplier as that category's person of the year. And again, the opportunity to apply for all these awards will open on July 10th. Very affordable opportunities. It tops out about $110 per entry. And some of the categories I mentioned, you can enter for free. So we'd love to have your participation.
Yeah, we'll share that information as well. All right. So we talked about the headliners. We talked about all the educational sessions. We talked about the awards. We talked about the good times, socializing. I call it partying and drinking with my friends and having a good time and getting to know each other. We talked about doing business. What didn't we talk about?
That's a good question. I think we covered all the highlights of the building systems housing summit. But if I can reiterate one thing to the audience today, again, one-stop shop for everything offsite construction at a convenient, all-inclusive price. So please consider joining us this fall, October 15th through the 17th at the Building Systems Housing Summit. Again, as we've mentioned several times, we'll be in Washington, D.C. At the National Housing Center, a tremendous host venue, and looking forward to having folks register. And in fact, Dave, just a few minutes within the hour of opening registration, we had our first registrant. So it's good to see people already excited about the event.
Yep. So go there and register. You can see the link right on the banner there on the page, and Jennifer's been putting it up in the comments as well. So definitely register, and please like and share the registration page. Go to their website and start sharing it on your LinkedIn and social media channels. The more people we have get involved, the further, the faster we're going to go, and that's really how this works. And the more people that do kind of like what I do on a regular basis and just share information and promote what's going on, it makes the whole event fun for everybody. So, I mean, we can have up to 10,000 people. Is that what the space holds, Devin?
Yeah, I'm not going to turn anybody away. So my saying is, as long as your money's green. So we'll take it. And yeah, no, there's no cap. Looking forward to having a huge, tremendous presentation this year. And then, yeah, Dave, to your point, the more the merrier. And at a minimum, please share the registration link. There'll be tons of graphics and information on LinkedIn. So, share those posts, and we sure would appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. And just know, too, there's going to be people at this event that haven't come in the past that I know are coming this year. And there's some pretty heavy hitters in the industry. So this year is going to get even better and better and better. And I don't want to go name dropping just because I'll be doing that on who's attending throughout. And on top of that, I don't have a list, so I don't want to insult anybody by not remembering their name. But there really is. This is going to be different than every other year, and I'm pumped for it. Devin, thanks, man.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Dave. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about Summit, and we appreciate what you do, not only for the building systems councils, but for the industry in general. You're a tremendous help.
Thank you very much. And hey, this doesn't end here because we've already started planning for IBS. So buckle in, right? It's just the beginning of awesomeness. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Devin, thanks for joining us today. For the rest of you out there, thank you so much. This Friday, stay tuned. We got some more footage that we're going to share and more interviews that we had in Connecticut from the Building Science Symposium. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure you tune in Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. And look for us leaving to Europe next week. So mark your calendar when you see us pop up. You never know where we're going to be. Devin, thanks so much. I will see you in a short few weeks. Stay right there. We'll come back to you after the outro. And here's some more words from our sponsors. We'll see you Friday. Bye, everybody. What an amazing show. Thank you to all of our sponsors for helping us to continue to bring all of these innovative conversations to all of you out there. Please visit them, see what they have to offer you. And as always, subscribe to the YouTube channel and ring that bell. It would mean the world to us. I'm Dave Cooper.